What's up, everybody? It's welcome to China and welcome to my It's the Bachelor Reside. It's the Bachelor Reside. We right here where the Bachelor reside. What's up, Bachelor Nation? We're here. It's your girl China, and she's on her way to 400 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button because y'all already know we back for week 2, and we gonna be here till week 22 because we talking about the Bachelor every week, and I know y'all gonna want to hear my opinions. So hit that subscribe button and help me get there. Also help your girl get to 10 comments. I want to hear about how y'all feeling about the Bachelor. All that shit. So go ahead and drop those comments and give your girl some love. But anyway, let's get into it, y'all. So last week, we just got a little precursor of who was Matt. If you have not seen my video, go ahead and check that out. But we got a feel for Matt. You know, we thought that he just liked Instagram thotties and, you know, he had no substance. But we started to find out that Matt was actually a man of substance, and he had started to get some good rapport with the girls and with the rest of the world. Like, we all ended up loving Matt, right? Am I right? I think so. So with that being said, I want to get into the episode from top to bottom. So I have my notes right here. So let's go ahead and dive in because we already know it was some bullshit this week. So the first thing is first, Queen Victoria. I don't want to talk about her. You know, we already know what she's here for. They're going to keep her on the show. I'm assuming next week she'll probably go home, if not the week after, mark my words. You know, they're going to give us a little bit of drama, and then he's going to start to dwindle down and get us, like, our final 10 girls, and then all that BS is going to be out the way. But anyway, we'll give her shine. So Victoria was getting into it with Marilyn. Marilyn is very sweet, she's very soft-spoken, and they were roommates. But y'all already know, Victoria's a nutcase. So since she's nutty as hell, you know, the girl Marilyn was like, you know, I just wanted to find a way for us to connect. And she was basically asking Victoria, like, why are you the way you are? And, you know, that can come off a little, like, staunch and rude, I will say. So it sent nutty-ass Victoria through the motherfucking roof. So they already started to get into it. So they was beefing from the beginning. So I'm like, thank you, ABC. You definitely sending me some TLC, some 90 Day Fiancé vibes. So I'll take it. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into the first date. So the first date was with Bree. Bree is super beautiful. Again, I liked her last week. She is black, and she is also, I believe, Filipino. So she's like Blasian or something like that. So she's super beautiful. She's also biracial like Matt, and that was something that they connected with. So anyway, they started to, like, open up with each other, and she talked about her coming from, like, a single-parent household, such as myself. And, you know, I get it. I get it. We all come from single-parent households, like, sometimes, you know, I get it. But, like, can we stop with the pity? Like, not all of us, like, ended up bad. They didn't end up bad, obviously. So it's, like, it's other elements to, like, the single-parent household. But they connected over that. And she was basically saying how her mother started a new life all over again. And she got married and just had another baby or whatever. And she's kind of feeling out of place in life. And Matt was saying he connected to that because obviously he doesn't have his dad and da-da-da-da-dee. We know, Matt. We know you don't have your father. We got it. I know. Been there, done that, played around. We understand. I can relate to you. But, bro, you gotta let it go, man. Or go to therapy. I think, honestly, like, if he went to therapy, that would help him. But anyway, we'll keep it moving. So, he ended up giving her the rose after, and it was a very beautiful moment, and I really enjoyed it. So, that's them. That was nothing really like, ugh, but, you know, it did what it did. So next, we're going to go ahead and get into the big group date. So they all go around and they all get I forgot the girl's name. They get the message and they're like, hey guys, you guys are going on the date. It's me, Chris Harrison. So get your wedding dresses ready. And they're like, oh my God, who is it going to be? And then you have Victoria over there like, what the hell? I want to be on a date alone. Girl, you're not getting no date alone. Trust me, you're not getting one. But anyway, so he ends up picking 18 girls to go on this big wedding date with the Bachelor's, like, renowned photographer, which is like this weird guy or whatever. I've seen him like a couple times, but like, whatever. So anyway, they all ended up getting 10 minutes to go pick out a wedding dress to do a photo shoot with Matt. But with that being said, it was only a certain amount of girls. I think it was like 10 girls who ended up being able to go out of 18. So they kind of had to work their way through and fight each other to, like, you know, take the pictures. So of course, my girl Mari, the Puerto Rican princess. She comes around and she takes the picture with Matt. So they're taking their wedding pictures, really cute. And then here comes Victoria. So Victoria comes around and she's like in the way. And the photographer's like, we'll get you in a second. And she's like, just hold on, girl. And everybody's like, what is she doing? So she's trying to intrude to take a picture. So anyway, Queen Victoria ends up interjecting the picture with Mari and Matt, of course. And then she has Matt kiss her and take off her garter. And in that moment, I noticed that Matt kisses with his eyes open. And the garter shit is nasty. It was just tasteless and I just didn't like it. So again, I'm not going to give her that much shine. We know a nutcase when we see one. So anyway, the group date was over of like, not the group date, but y'all know what I'm saying. Basically, the competition was over. So the next part of the competition was they basically had to play like a type of flag football, but in their wedding dresses. And obviously the one team that won gets to go on the group date with Matt, and the team that lost doesn't. So the big group of girls ended up going on the date, and it went good. So I'm not going to really get into like, you know, the logistics of the date they went on. I'm just going to really talk about some of the big things that kind of stuck out to me like after the wedding dress incident. So the big part of the wedding dress incident was the girls were really like competitive, and I think a lot of them really got bummed out, and it started to get on my nerves because I'm like, y'all gonna sit here and cry about like not winning, but like you're gonna win some and you're gonna lose some. So it's just agitating to me that every time y'all hoes got a problem, y'all gonna really sit here and cry about it. Like it's just really unattractive to me, especially on the show. Like I'm a crybaby, but I'm not gonna sit here and cry on TV like if I'm trying to get Matt's attention. So I didn't like that. But also somebody that like stuck out to me on that episode was Piper. She was facilitating. Piper is like, I think she's like mixed. She has like the curly blonde hair. She kind of reminds me of like a Danny Lay. Let me catch your vibe. Anyway, so take it easy. So she gives me definitely Danny Lay vibes. But anyway, the little Danny Lay looking girl, she was definitely like facilitating. So I think Piper is going to be also a front runner along with Brie. So anyway, the group date winners. So Matt goes on the group date after that, and the one team lost, and they're all bummed out, and the other girls are so happy that they're here with Matt. So then this is when we start to really get to see Lauren. So Lauren is a beautiful chocolate woman. She is fully black, so I'm finally happy. Thank you. She is beautiful. She's a lawyer, and I believe she's like from Florida, but she ended up going to school in North Carolina where Matt is from. So like they kind of had that little like in common deal. So the big thing that she said during this date, and I feel like I was like looking at some other recaps online, people did not talk about Lauren enough, and I think definitely has a connection with her. But again, everybody's like, I don't know how much of a black girl Matt likes, so we don't really know his type. So anyway, that does matter. We're not gonna lie about that. She goes to talk about how like her mother and father put God first in their relationship, and that's the reason why their relationship lasted for so long, and da-da-da-da-dee. And she just said that she leads her life with God. And I connect with that because like this year I've been trying to lead my life like much heavier. Like I consider myself to be a Christian. Obviously I'm definitely not perfect. Y'all can see from my story times. But Matt ended up saying that, you know, he's never led his relationship with being a Christian. It was something that he was always a little bashful about. He didn't want to turn people off because, you know, they give Christians a bad rap. And not all Christians are bad. Christians are normal. You know, you serve who you serve. You pray to who you pray to. Okay? But I thought that was very beautiful. So they didn't end up talking about anything else really besides their religion as well as, sorry, I'm reading my notes, their religion as well as leading with a Christian household. So that was pretty much it. So during that time, they did end up not kissing. So I was like, I didn't really know how much he liked her. I didn't really know how much he was into her. So I just kind of like left that there. But anyway, at the end of the day, he did like give Lauren a rose. So it kind of like balanced out at the end of the night. Teaser. So anyway, here comes Victoria. And like Victoria kind of starts blabbering on, and I think Matt is sweet because like he didn't like, you know, check her off as like being a nutcase like just yet. I think he is very like empathetic, and I really think he genuinely doesn't know she's like crazy. Like he doesn't know that yet. So like to him, he's just going on the date. I'm sure he doesn't feel a connection. Obviously, we can see that. She's like getting up and they're leaving the date. She's like, "Can I have a kiss? Can I have a kiss, Matt? Can I have a kiss? An eye wide open kiss?" And I'm just like, yo, Matt literally kisses with his eyes open because when he kissed Lauren next, like he was kissing with his eyes open. So Matt is definitely an open-eyed kisser. Let me tell you, Matt James is an open-eyed kisser. But anyway, y'all, so that's that part of the story. So the second day it was boring AF. He went out with Sarah. Oh, Sarah. And I'm not even being biased, like, because Sarah's a white girl, but he went out with Sarah, and I really did like her. She's very sweet, but I just feel like she's like the typical bachelorette girl, like an all-American. She's very sweet. Something that did stick out to me was like she is a very empathetic person, and she does know love and care, because she was talking about her father has had ALS. And if you guys remember, like, the water bucket challenge with the ALS, that was something that is like a very, very life-threatening disease. So she spoke about how she was taking care of her father during that time, and you know, it was very sad. But during that time, it was kind of like, you know, it was a beautiful date, but I felt like it did kind of bring down the vibe. But I know they have to talk about things like that, but you know what, that's just my opinion. So they ended up getting steamy in the hot tub after and like kissing and stuff. Like, I feel like she's definitely Matt's type. So I'm not assuming that Matt's gonna go with the white girl like everybody's like saying. But I feel like she was his type, so the attraction is there, and he did keep her around. Spoiler. So, you know, we'll honestly see. But that's just kind of that on that. So the next part of The Bachelor that I'm going to go ahead and talk about is when all of this drama starts to pop off. So basically, Victoria comes and brings up this drama with Marilyn to Matt during the final rose ceremony, like little appetizer hors d'oeuvres little party where they like have dates and, you know, they go and talk, you know, like that little, like, you know, whatever. Let me see if I like you still, that phase of, you know, the night. So basically, she goes ahead and, like, Marilyn has a date with Matt. So it goes beautiful. They have a good time. She's very sweet. And, like, he could just tell it was, like, something kind of, like, to it, but, like, he couldn't really put his finger on it. So long story short, Marilyn goes ahead and goes back out there, and Victoria starts snapping at her. Starts snapping at her. So, of course, Queen Victoria, she goes ahead, and I don't even know what we're calling her queen. We should, like, call her, like, Pauper Victoria or whatever. The frog Victoria, actually. She, like, goes ahead and tries to blast her to Matt. And I didn't agree with that. I thought that was, like, very bogus. Like, I didn't think that it was, like, good in her character. Not saying that she has a good character at all, but I just felt like that was something they could have handled as coming to each other as a woman. But, you know, she's going to do what she has to do. And again, she's going to try and put her mouth on Matt. So, you know, she's just trying to play the game. So I can't hate on Victoria, like, trying to play the game. But also, it's just like, girl. Then you see Marilyn starts to weaken and crack. And then when he pulls her to the side, it's over with. He doesn't know basically who to believe at that point. You know, he comes to her, and then, you know, she just wanted to explain, and she doesn't feel like Matt, you know, would believe her since, you know, Victoria got to her first. And I think we saw that in, if we're taking it back to just now, like Tayshia's season, with the two ugly guys, like the dude that had the mustache and the other, like, short dude, anytime it's, like, drama, you know, Tayshia was definitely not having that. So I hope that Matt, you know, when the girls do have drama, I hope he does put his foot down, because, like, Matt is definitely not going to be the type of guy who, like, wants a girl who's, like, drama-filled. Like, he definitely gives me that vibe that is not him, so that is definitely something that I'm paying attention to. And then, of course, at the end, someone faints. And I don't even remember her name, because I don't even really care. So with that being said, y'all, that is basically the recap. And they give us a to be continued. So the girl passes out, and they're helping her. So we're going to see kind of how that ends up next week. Ultimately, in this episode, what did we get out of this? Nothing, because the front runners are still the same, as well as the people that he's been vibing with are still the same. The roses he gave to was nothing surprising. And as well as the drama with Queen Victoria, we already knew that she was nuts. So what else did we learn? I think that Lauren started to pop out a little bit more. The lawyer, you know, her connecting with God and Matt. He did give her, like, the impression rose. Well, not the impression rose, you know, another important rose of the night. So she's here. I like that. As well as, I think Matt does need to deal with the issues with his father. I think that that's something that's, like, really hindering him, and, like, I can relate to that as well. Like, I've had to work through my own issues and issues that I still haven't worked through yet. But with that being said, it's like, bro, we're gonna keep bringing this up, my mans, and like you have to start to either like help yourself with it or like stop talking about it, because at the end of the day, like, yes, like some of the women on here like are having some of the issues that he can relate to, but some of them don't. So like you need to deal with your own problems. So that's what I'm saying. I still think Matt needs to go to therapy with that. Like, you're about to be a public figure now, so I think you should get yourself together, black man. Next, Piper. I mentioned Piper before, the let me catch your vibe. She looks like Danny Lay. I think that she's also going to be someone that he's eyeing. He did give her a little bit of attention and a little love. She ended up getting the very first rose of the night during the ceremony, if you guys did pay attention to that. So I think that that is also something that we should pay attention to, is Piper, as well as Rachel from The Bachelor. I think that it was like a thing that was circulating, and I'm going to actually check her name right now. Rachel, The Bachelor. I think that it was some things circulating, and yeah, that's her saying that she was basically racist on Twitter. And, you know, he kind of told her, like, I've been eyeing you, we've been eyeing each other, like, in passing, you know, not necessarily had, like, a strict one-on-one date with each other, but, you know, when they do chat, they do have a vibe. But I have to check into those racist allegations, because I don't really know how I feel about that. But also, Abigail, sweet Abigail, you know, we're going to end with her. Abigail is, of course, going to be a front runner. She's the one that is deaf, and she is super, super sweet, and you just, like, love her more and more. And I just feel like, I was just thinking about, like, probably how her life was growing up, still being deaf. She's a very beautiful woman, so I'm sure that helps her with her pretty privilege. But with that being said, I just think that, like, she still has a story to her, and I think that's why she's so sweet and so empathetic. And I think that's someone who truly has a character, of someone who could be Matt James' wife. And do I feel like Matt James could be with a woman who is deaf or who does have some type of disability, even though it's not leading, or, you know, it's not like cookie cutter, or, you know, anything. She's not an ID thotty. I think that that would be the perfect person for him, per se. So we're going to keep her in mind and just really see where that goes. But last but not least, y'all, I want to give a shout out to my girl, Sydney. And I'm going to go ahead and tag you guys down. I met Sydney from my girl Tay during our China's The Messy Bachelorette Facebook group. So if you guys want to be a part of that, I'm definitely going to put the link down there so you guys can join us. I have like only like 15 people in there. It's just me and my close friends, but definitely join us, y'all, if you want to talk about The Bachelor. We do have a group chat if you're not weird. So definitely get on there, and I will say hi to you guys there. But Sydney, girl, I love talking to you about this. Let's get that roster together, y'all, and it's Bachelor Nation. Anyway, I'm on my way to 400 subscribers, y'all. If you have made it all the way through this video, I love you so much, and I appreciate you, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.